This is 7 News Adelaide with Gertie Sperling.
Good afternoon. 38 people have been treated in hospital after a mass poisoning at the Ice Arena. As Mitchell Sariovsky reports, they were overcome by carbon monoxide fumes during a women's hockey competition.
Just hours after the Adelaide Rush celebrated a win here at the Ice Arena, some of their players and their opponents from Melbourne became sick and were taken to hospital. The women's ice hockey teams had been exposed to high levels of carbon monoxide. A pipe on this Zamboni, a machine used to resurface the ice, split, sending dangerous fumes across the arena.
The girls had presented to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with symptoms of headaches, nausea, vomiting, that sort of thing, which is classic carbon monoxide poisoning.
The hospital raised the alarm when more than 20 people sought medical treatment for the same issue.
If it is very, very high levels of carbon monoxide poisoning acutely, it can make you very, very sick, and it can go on to lead to unconsciousness and seizures, and even in some cases be fatal. But that's not the situation that we've had here overnight.
Firefighters rushed to the scene just after 3 this morning, where they spent all night monitoring gas levels. By late this afternoon, the arena was deemed safe but remains closed.
We are very serious about safety here at the Ice Arena, and everybody's trained to do what they are supposed to be doing.
The skaters were scheduled to play again today, but the game was cancelled. SafeWork SA has now taken over the investigation and will determine whether the incident could have been prevented, but the Ice Arena says the machine was recently serviced.
Mourners have gathered in the North Parklands to remember the life of Alafia Seryo. The 22-year-old international student was killed 4 days ago, crushed by a falling gum tree. Her family flew in from Jakarta after hearing the tragic news and is grieving with the friends she made in her second home.
She was always smiling. She was the sister I never had. She was always so kind.
An online fundraiser has been set up to cover the expense of returning her body to Indonesia. SA's nation-leading push to deliver 3-year-old preschool is on track, with the state government throwing an extra $56 million at the rollout. It'll mostly be used to recruit and train additional educators and care workers. The government's accepted all but 2 recommendations from the Royal Commission, carried out by former PM Julia Gillard.
I'm really inspired by the vision of the Royal Commission and of the government. It's a holistic set of reforms that has 3-year-old preschool as its backbone, but as the Minister has said, goes well beyond that.
Enrolments are due to start in 2026. A water tanker had to be brought in to supply a city apartment block off the grid after a main burst early this morning in the East End. It let go on North Terrace near Golden Boy around 2:30, flooding the intersection with East Terrace. Thankfully, restaurants in the area are closed today. 2 people are recovering in hospital after a violent domestic dispute at Semaphore Park. Police say a 34-year-old woman suffered cuts to her arm, while a 25-year-old man was hit on the head with a broken bottle. The woman is expected to face assault charges. Police spoke to a large number of people at the scene, but say the fight only involved the man and woman who know each other. A key division between both major parties has been drawn less than a month out from the critical Dunkley by-election, with the opposition vowing to repeal the right to disconnect laws. The pledge comes on the same day Treasurer Jim Chalmers gave the strongest indication yet that negative gearing reform for housing remains off the table. Ben Downey has more.
Good afternoon. The Coalition will go to the by-election in Dunkley promising to repeal the recently passed right to disconnect laws, allowing workers to ignore after-hours calls and texts from bosses, opening up a new line of attack from the government. The war of words was on pause this morning, though. Anthony Albanese becoming the first sitting Prime Minister to visit the ex-prisoners of war memorial on its 20th anniversary.
It is a place where leaders were born, a place where the past is present.
Paying respect to his late political mentor Tom Uren. The partisan ceasefire lasting only until the end of the ceremony.
Peter Dutton wants Australians to work longer for less. He opposes their tax cuts. He opposes the measures that are put in place to lift wages.
Prime Minister seizing upon comments from the Shadow Treasurer and opposition leader that they'd overturn recent industrial relations reform.
What would you undo? I mean, the right to disconnect?
Well, obviously, there's aspects of that piece of legislation that are unacceptable.
Is that something you'll go to the election promising to overturn?
Yes, we will.
Peter Dutton wants Australians to work longer for less.
Still no end to questions for the government, though, on whether it would reform negative gearing tax concessions on investment properties to address housing affordability.
No, that's not something that we're proposing, not something that we are considering, not something that we are working up.
The government will reintroduce the right to disconnect laws to Parliament this week to attempt to remove penalties for bosses. Tomorrow is also the first National Party meeting since Barnaby's fall was captured on camera.
A church vigil has been held to pray for the safe return of missing Ballarat mother Samantha Murphy. As Ainsley Kosh reports, today marks 1 week since her disappearance.
In a moving service this morning, members of the local Anglican church prayed for the safe return of Samantha Murphy. The church acknowledged it's been a distressing week for the local community and they're hoping for answers about the mum of three's disappearance.
A lot of people are talking about it and just feeling confused and upset and sad and just wondering what could possibly have happened and why doesn't anybody know. Obviously we don't want it to be an awful one, but obviously as the days tick by, you start to lose a bit of hope about where she is and what's happened to her.
Everyone's just devastated by this, and you read about it in the paper, but when it actually happens in your backyard, it's really, really frightening, and we're all just praying that she comes back safely.
Today marks 1 week since the 51-year-old vanished from her Ballarat East home without a trace. Her phone hasn't been found and police have no idea where she went after she left for a routine run at 7 a.m. on Sunday morning. After 6 days of extensive searching, the Missing Persons Squad has officially taken over the investigation. Police say there is no evidence to suggest foul play is involved in her disappearance. Detectives are now urging anyone in the search zone to hand over their CCTV or dash cam between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on Sunday the 4th of February to help them piece together her last movements before she was last seen. Police say if any new information comes to light, they'll scale up the search. If anyone sees Samantha, they should contact 000 immediately.
Aussie rock star Jimmy Barnes has opened up about his recent heart surgery. He says he told his wife Jane that he didn't think he was going to survive after surgeons said there was a 20% chance he wouldn't make it. The Cold Chisel frontman took to social media to thank the public for their support as he prepares to return to the stage next month.
I want to thank you all for your support. While I was ill, all your good wishes, it really helped me a hell of a lot.
The singer also revealing that John Farnham gave him a call while he was in hospital, wishing him well. Many early risers around the state thought they were seeing visitors from outer space arriving this morning. 7 News viewers have sent in these videos of a curious chain of lights travelling across the dawn sky. But they're not extraterrestrials. It's the latest launch for Elon Musk's SpaceX Starlink internet project. Stay with us, still to come, a message from the King, his first since sharing his cancer diagnosis. Shock video of the moment an armed officer is rammed by a stolen car. Australia's biggest names on the red carpet, all the winners at the ACTA Awards. And Taylor Swift touches down for the Super Bowl, her final stop before heading down under. The red carpet was rolled out at the Gold Coast last night as Australia's biggest stars turned out for the 2024 ACTA Awards. Cate Blanchett and Rebel Wilson appeared alongside Margot Robbie, who received the prestigious Trailblazer Award. Katie Brown was there.
Head to toe in diamonds, Margot made a dazzling return down under.
Every time I come home, I'm just
So happy.
What was the first thing you did?
Go to my mum's house, have a cup of tea, go for a swim, go to the rock pools, just do all the things I did growing up, really.
And since then, a lot has changed, with Margot now accepting one of Australia's top acting honours, with previous recipients including Chris Hemsworth and Isla Fisher. The Hollywood star received the Trailblazer Award for her huge impact on the global screen industry.
It's all icing on the very big pink cake.
Also there, Cate Blanchett.
If you asked me growing up who my favourite actor was, my answer was always and will always be Cate Blanchett.
Cate just missed out on an actor for her role as a renegade nun in The New Boy.
Look, I wanted to make the film because I found the world compelling, and it's not what you think it is, and I think all good films contain a surprise.
The New Boy still walked away as a big winner, with the film's lead, 11-year-old Aswan Reid, securing Best Actor. He has never acted before.
I just want to thank everybody that helped me get through the film.
But horror film Talk to Me was the biggest winner of the night, walking away with 8 actors, including Best Film. For TV, Best Drama Series went to The Newsreader. Colin from Accounts won Best Comedy. Bluey for Best Children's Series, and John Farnham, Finding the Voice, Best Documentary. It really was the Aussies' time to shine.
Dramatic body cam vision has emerged of the moment an Ohio police officer was rammed by a car as he responded to an officer-involved shooting.
Stop the car! Go around, get your car, move away.
The officer was taken to hospital in a stable condition. A 32-year-old woman fled the scene, hitting 2 vehicles head-on before being apprehended by police. In his first statement since his cancer diagnosis, King Charles has expressed a heartfelt thanks to the public for all their support. The 75-year-old monarch said, as all those who have been affected by cancer will know, such kind thoughts are the greatest comfort and encouragement. He went on to say it is heartening to hear how sharing my own diagnosis has helped promote public understanding. With less than 24 hours until the highly anticipated Super Bowl, things are heating up in Las Vegas, with the Chiefs and 49ers set to go head-to-head. US correspondent Miley Hogan got amongst all the action.
Well, it is game day eve and excitement is really starting to build here, but there are also nerves and anxiety, all of the feelings that go into the night before a big game. And tomorrow is going to be massive. You have the defending champions going up against one of the most popular teams in the NFL.
Put your money on the Chiefs. Don't blame me if you lose, but the Chiefs are going to win.
And this is really going to be a sporting and cultural moment that America will remember. When you add in the Taylor Swift factor, that is set to help tomorrow's game be the most watched in history. Who are you looking for?
Taylor Swift.
She's excited about Taylor Swift's boyfriend, as you can tell.
At the centre of all of this is an Australian, 49ers punter Mitch Wishnowsky. Tomorrow, if San Francisco win, he is set to make history. He will be the first Australian to ever play in and win a Super Bowl.
We love Wishnowsky. That's our boy.
He's helped out this year. I think hopefully he'll do good tomorrow.
To go along, it is extremely expensive, but there are still some available up on resale sites. There are 2 tickets going for $300,000. The cheapest resale ticket is around $8,000.
Sport is next with ABBA, and we'll hear from Port Adelaide star Jason Horne-Francis on his perfect pre-season. And Aussie Ange and the Spurs back into the top 4.
Good afternoon. The Australian women's cricket team has an unbeatable lead in its multi-format series against South Africa after a big win in the third and final one-day at North Sydney Oval. Defending a rain-revised total of 237 from 31 overs, Alana King ripped through the Proteas with 4 wickets in 11 balls.
And another one. Litchfield hangs on to another one. King picks up her third.
The 110-run win gives the Aussies an 8-4 series lead with just the one-off test to come.
Pushing her case for this test match
Just really excited to get to the WACA and play a test match. I mean, it's been a little while since we've played there. We've never played South Africa in a test match either. We've got ample to choose from, and it's going to be a tough couple of days to get the 11 right.
The one-off test in Perth begins on Thursday. Port Adelaide star Jason Horne-Francis has told 7 News how his return to South Australia has helped him mentally, which is set to transition onto the football field. The number 1 draft pick returned to Adelaide after a much publicised move from the Kangaroos after just 1 season.
I've said to Mum and Dad a couple of times, it just feels natural me being back home. You know, I used to play at South and it was a 5-minute drive and I could be home with my friends and family, and you know, it just feels a lot more normal being back home.
We'll have more from Horne-Francis in 7 News at 6. Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham is back inside the Premier League's top 4 after a last gasp 2-1 win over Brighton. Brennan Johnson the hero in the 97th minute.
Johnson wraps it up. A win from nothing in the end for Ange Postecoglou's team.
Champions Manchester City notched their 6th straight victory, 2-0 over Everton. They're 2 points behind leaders Liverpool, who defeated Burnley 3-1 at Anfield. The Opals booked their ticket to Paris with an 85-52 win over Germany in their second qualifier in Brazil. It'll be the Aussie women's 10th appearance at the Olympics.
Down big. It's not 3 things in life that are certain: death, taxes, and the Opals in the Olympic Games.
The Opals play their final game of the tournament against Serbia tomorrow. Rising Aussie surf star Molly Picklum posted the first perfect 10 of her career on finals day at the Pipe Pro in Hawaii.
Grabs a rail of the pipeline, pulls up and under. She's still going and gets the exit. A 10-point ride to kick off the year, Molly Picklum.
The 21-year-old won a nail-biting semi-final over local Bellylou Sakura Johnson, advancing by just over 0.3 of a point. Picklum then followed it up with a 9.27 in the final, but went down to 18-year-old Californian Caitlin Simmers. Baron Mamiya also posted a perfect 10 in an epic men's final against fellow Hawaiian John Florence, going on to win by less than a point. John Rahm couldn't chase down his first win since defecting to LIV. A shank on the 15th in Las Vegas ended any hopes of winning the $6 million prize. Rahm finished 4 shots off Dustin Johnson, who won by a stroke.
Dustin Johnson has reminded the world that he is the main man in the LIV Golf League.
Rowdy fan behaviour overshadowed the PGA's party tournament, the Phoenix Open. Canada's Nick Taylor led by 1 shot at 13 under when bad light stopped play early in the 3rd round. Bad behaviour at the golf. I love it, absolutely love it. Don't forget, we'll have plenty more in our main bulletin at 6.
And of course, the Super Bowl live and free right here on 7 tomorrow as well, Bruce.
I'm already getting prepared.
I'm backing the Chiefs. I'm going with all the Swifties.
Oh, God, I want to see Taylor Swift arrive at half-time and just join Usher.
Why not?
She's
Sounds
flying
good.
back from Japan.
Thanks, Bruce. It'll really start to heat up in the city tomorrow. Stay with us. I'll have the latest weather forecast after the break.
When big news events happen, turn to 7 News.
As it unfolds, you'll see it live.
Police reporter Hannah Ford joins us live.
The terrifying attack happened here.
Chilling new details about the murder of a mother and son.
King Charles is facing a new health battle.
Be first to know with 7 News.
Mike Smithson has our main bulletin at 6. And Smitho, what have you got?
Well, Gertie, it's left a bad taste for visiting ice hockey players, but it could have been far worse. At 6, the full fallout from the ice arena poisoning incident, which sent dozens of people to hospital. A highly emotional day for the family and friends of a young woman killed by a falling Parklands tree. A brand new musical about the life of Elvis. Well, it's coming to Adelaide, our exclusive backstage pass. And in our ever-popular flashback segment, it's Back to the Future when trams ruled our major roadways. I wish they still did, but they don't. That's coming up at 6. Thanks, Gertie.
Thanks, Smitho. To the weather now, and it was a gorgeous summer's day, hot and sunny in the city. After a low of 15 degrees, we hit a top of 34 shortly after 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right now, it's still 32. Around the country, clear skies over Melbourne too, currently 33. It's been a partly cloudy afternoon in Sydney. Warm and humid in Brisbane with a shower still possible. Right now, it's 28. Cool in Hobart, hovering around 21 degrees. A high pressure system is driving the warmth, and that's heading east, allowing a hot air mass to build. A trough and cold front will push across the state from the west late tomorrow, triggering a cool change. Hot and dry across most of the state, with isolated showers and thunderstorms a chance about the far northeast. 41's the top for Cooper Pedy, Roxby, Woomera and Maree. Many of our regional centres further south tipped to reach 41 as well, including Port Pirie, Renmark and Murray Bridge. A scorching top of 42 is on the way for Port Augusta. 39 for Clare and Nuriutpa, 32 for Victor and Kingscote, 37 for Naracoorte, 33 for Mount Gambier. And flooding along Cooper Creek at Inaminka is still possible. In the city, warm overnight with a low of just 18 degrees. 38 is the forecast top. It'll be a sunny day before a change arrives late in the afternoon, looking much cooler on Tuesday. But I'll have more on that in the full forecast tonight. That's all the news for now. Mike will have all the day's top stories at 6 o'clock. Bye for now.
Stream 7 News anytime, live and on demand on 7 Plus. And with 7news.com.au, you'll know the news now.